Mexico. It was wonderful seeing you here again. Look forward to hearing your presentation this time about building sustainable interdisciplinary collaboration to effectively address all forms of human trafficking.
Thank you so much. So it's a very long title to my topic, and part of it really is introducing myself and some of the work I've done. And I'll tell you about a mistake I made along the way. This is Dennis Paris. Dennis Paris was a human trafficker who was in operation in my home state of Connecticut in the USA. He had a stable of about 100 girls. When the Trafficking Victims Protection Act was passed in 2000, most of those indicted through it, and because of it, for several years, pled out. There were no trials. Dennis Paris was the first person that demanded a trial under the TVPA. And it happened in Hartford Federal Court, the state of Connecticut, in June of 2007. And with that one trial and its 1,500 pages of testimony, just details extraordinarily how commercial sexual exploitation works in the United States. That's his mugshot. From that trial and doing a very deep dive of how trafficking works in the United States, I wrote this book a few years ago, and it really looks at the historic aspect of how human trafficking works, even going back to a study that John D. Rockefeller commissioned in 1912 in New York City. And the way that study describes how human trafficking worked in 1912 describes exactly how it works today, except for some of the technology. The way girls are recruited, the way they're groomed, the way pimps move them and coerce them into it. There's another book I wrote about child trafficking around the world. When I investigated some media embedded in Iraq, the U.S. military, that's me in Haiti. It's very hot in Haiti, I apologize for that. In Afghanistan, and then this is in Connecticut. Now, those of you who might not be familiar with Connecticut, people see Connecticut as a very wealthy state. It actually is the bedroom community to New York City. This is a video capture of video I took with a hidden button camera in Waterbury, Connecticut, in a parking lot of a 7-Eleven. The guy hanging out the window is a human trafficker, otherwise known as a pimp. The girl in the middle is 12, and the girl on the left is 13. He brought them up to Waterbury, Connecticut, from New York, to show the other pimps the type of girls he could offer the people in the area. But the sheriff mentioned I was going to go into social media. Several years ago, I discovered a great deal of child pornography on Facebook in the secret groups. The same secret groups that were used to organize the Arab Spring. And these are some screen captures that happened very quickly. Now, understand what Facebook and social media allows pedophiles to do. For the first time in history, they don't have to hide in their basements with their photographs or the videos. They can validate each other's behavior, trade videos and images as currency around the world using Facebook without borders, without language barriers, and without any type of accountability. And until just a few years ago, Facebook wasn't doing anything about it. In fact, when BBC reported to Facebook all of the child pornography they had found, Facebook reported BBC to the police. So they weren't addressing it because addressing it would mean you acknowledge that it's happening. I then started a causes.com platform. This is what I call this one, Facebook was blocked. It's images of videos of children. We have 1.5 million members, and we had 403,000 signatures to Mark Zuckerberg to get him to do something about this. Now, this was all happening before Facebook's recent security issues. This was in 2013, 2014, and they actually did take action because of this. But going back to Dennis Paris, who had 100 girls in his stable, it was through the Hartford and New Haven Advocate magazines that were owned by the media conglomerate Tribune company, now called Trump. And these were the advertisements on the back page of the Hartford, New Haven, and Fairfield Advocate, in which had advertisements for escort services, for massage parlors, for spas. It was the singular advertising venue for Dennis Paris's girls. I wrote legislation, worked with the legislature in Connecticut in 2017, and we we made the publishers of those ads culpable if a minor was found to be working within that. They stopped publishing a week after the law went into effect, and a year later the ad magazine went out of business. They made a lot of money on those ads. I was just inspecting some work conditions just recently in San Miguel, Mexico, and then went off to the conference down in Mexico City. Actually, it was very good news. Found some very nice work conditions there. But I really want to talk about a blizzard. And this is the October 2011 Northeaster. Now, what's a Northeaster? A Northeaster was mentioned in the Book of Acts. St. Paul got into some real trouble with a nor'easter when he was shipwrecked. But this one in 2011, when it hits the northern New England, usually shows up as a blizzard. And that little arrow points to where I was living at the time. Now, the problem with a blizzard hitting New England in October is that the ground isn't frozen and the leaves are still on the trees. We had 50 centimeters of snow. We had $5 billion worth of damage within about less than 24 hours. 3 million people without electricity for days and sometimes even weeks. You can see here green leaves. There was just too much weight. Where am I going with this? Well, 15,000 repairmen were relocated from other states all over the country that came into Connecticut to repair these damaged power lines. The repairs kept going for weeks at a time. The CEO of the electric company was fired because he handled it so badly. And repair crews remained well into November. Now, something very interesting happened in the town where I live. And that was, Backpage.com started advertising in Connecticut with their escort ads in November 10th, 2011. And then on November 13th, Simsbury, Connecticut, the little town I live in, had its first prostitution arrest in its 200-year history. And if you look further into the story, this woman was arrested who was, along with a partner acting as a trafficker, had been arrested in New York for promoting prostitution of a girl under 11 years old. That's what they called it at the time. Of course, that's trafficking. So, what's the connection? 15,000 electrical repair personnel arrived in Connecticut to repair the damage caused by the nor'easter. At that time, the daily average escort ads in Connecticut prior to the nor'easter, because there were ways around it, people could find it even though they didn't run it, was 275. After the nor'easter, it was 825. So the 300% increase in ads, escort ads at Backpage.com, I initiated this study to look for patterns. Would there be an increase in escorts, possibly human trafficking victims, in geographic regions after predictable mass power failure events? Using Backpage, I used Backpage for measurements both before predicted storm and afterwards to see if there was an answer to this. And it was yes. And here are the figures. What was happening? Well, there were tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of linemen brought into every one of these areas after a storm. They were away from home, they were making lots of money, they were staying in hotels, and just like the sporting events, they were brought in to service these linemen. And these are the increases for each one of these hurricanes that happened in the United States from 2012 to 2018. Now, the last two that you see by the asterisks, not measured by Backpage, is because last April, the Department of Justice basically just took Backpage and took it down. But it was replaced immediately by bedpage.com and by Facebook running more and more escort ads, and by Instagram. This is a screen capture I took last week of about an 8-year-old girl pole dancing live on Instagram with 55,000 views. So it's only the beginning of live webcasting of children and other human trafficking victims. What's happening now with pornography, especially child pornography, is it's becoming live, it's becoming on demand, and it's becoming customized for men to use it. There's more about this in the PDF. This is one channel which girls can be broadcast. These are all screen captures from live webcams that I took in just the past couple of weeks. This girl has 930 people looking at her. I covered her eyes. She looked to be about 9 years old. So, because of all this, I approached the volunteer organizations assisting in disaster. And next week, I'll be presenting at their big conference in Nashville, Tennessee, because they've never addressed human trafficking before. These are first responders all over the United States and all over the world. They do not yet know how to be aware of or respond to human trafficking. And so that's what we're going to look at and bring to just have a few minutes here. As A. Frankel said, one solution is, and this is the mistake I made, I did all this alone. And I shouldn't have done any of this alone. But if you think about it, because of all of our unique talents and abilities and expertise, Michael with AI, Jonas with data, we're all working in these silos. We come to a conference like this, and we all get together, and it's wonderful, and it's great fellowship. We absolutely need this. But one solution is that we need to bring this conference together on a continual basis. This conference and the ideas and the silos that we are all in need to combine as different separate working groups. For instance, if we're going to work against a crime, against humanity that human trafficking is, if we're going to address 8.7 particularly, if we're going to address the problem that the fact that men are the problem and men have to be part of the solution, we can't let this time together end until it's eradicated, if it ever can be. So, by building a sustainable interdisciplinary collaboration, this is especially important as GSN achieves Goal 8. We have a diverse, talented, multidisciplinary community of people ready and eager to participate in doing this. We have really the talent and expertise within GSN to really resolve almost every major issue that humanity faces right now. This is not guesswork. We can do this, but we can't just wait for the next meeting to get together and discuss ideas. We have to build a platform in which this continues, and the very sophisticated level of ideas that we've heard, like the past first couple of talks, were a wonderful segue to the point I'm trying to make here. If we create working groups specifically to address issues that can be addressed by data and AI, by law enforcement working with educators, then all of this can be brought to the world in a more effective way to address this. So we have brilliant people here, we're very talented people here, and past the day, people have been asking me what I do. Well, you've seen what I do. I don't know how to explain what that is. But this is Cattell. I met Cattell in June of 2008, and she was a human trafficking victim, and I worked with her for 8.5 years. And she was delightful. The laughing you see there, that was her. She was wonderful. But unfortunately, in January of 2017, her mother called me and said she had passed away overnight of an overdose. So I talked to her on a Tuesday, and on Saturday I was giving her eulogy. I can't really describe what I do, but she's why I do it. So again, I'm kind of tired of doing this alone. I'm so glad and appreciative to all of you, GSN, to Rosie for bringing me in especially. And thank you very much.